Hi everyone. So today we will talk about one of the most important part when we start discussing about web accessibility. So in this tutorial, I will show you few areas which we will cover deeply in each and every video that I will make like from now on. And that is WCAG or Web Content Guidelines that we follow whenever we work for accessibility. So I have opened, you see, w3.org URL. I will share this URL in my video description as well. So if you see this web content accessibility guideline, uh, this is or there are a set of guidelines which are mentioned over here which we need to follow when we develop any particular application by keeping in mind about the web accessibility. And also from testing perspective, whoever is testing any particular module or feature or application, these guidelines are important. Every single element, whether it's an interactive element or not, whether it is following the WCAG guidelines structures and all, we need to verify that. So here you can see the introduction, the WCAG 2.0, 2.1 and 2.2. 2.2 is the latest version that will come up. It is not yet published, but 2.1 is something that we will look into when we will dig deep. So if you just go by the introduction section, see it is written over there. The web content accessibility guideline documents explain how to make web content more accessible to people with disabilities. Web content generally refers to the information in a web page or web application, including natural information such as text, images, and sounds, code or markup that defines structure, presentation, etc. So, if I go to any of these particular guideline sections, say for example, if I move to WCAG guideline 2.1. So this 2.2 is a draft format where changes are being implemented. So we will discuss about 2.2 later, but the most important and the most usable one is the web content accessibility guidelines 2.1. I will share this URL as well, and you can get all these details from this WCAG overview page as well. So if you see this particular page, Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1, and if you see on the left hand side table of contents, you will see all the details of each and every particular element that can be present in a web page and what kind of accessibility uh, feature should be present for each and every element is present over here. So if I start from the beginning, here you will see the new features or like the new implementation of WCAG 2.1. If you click on it, you will get the details of it, like where or which particular element changes are being implemented, the newly changes are being implemented. Now, if I move below, see these are the main headings under each and every section of accessibility. Say, for example, the perceivable. Perceivable information and user interface components must be presentable to users in ways they can perceive. So here the info relationship part, the text alternative parts, the audio description part, captions, these all are under the perceivable part. So these informations, all these resized text, I will go through each and every point in my later videos, like example and how it works. But if you just go through by the items, you can see that like what are the items that are under WCAG 2.1. It almost covers each and every single element that can be present in a particular web page. So, for example, if I say resize text, this means like if a web page, see this particular page I am viewing in a 100% zoom. So, say for example, a user who has a vision issue and used to view web pages with high zoom percentage, say for example 200%. So in 200% as well, the page should not deteriorate, the page contents or page elements should not be something that a person with disabilities cannot access it. So if you see this page in 200% zoom, you can able to navigate through the page very easily and the contents are clearly visible as well. And if you hover on these arrows as well, you can see the informations are highlighting, and there is no kind of like content is not able, we are not able to see the contents or something like that. It is not happening over here. So in resize text, this particular page looks to be fine, although we need to check in thoroughly. I'm just giving you an example of it. So now, say for example, here is another option that is called info and relationship. So each and every page is having a heading. So say for example, if I just check this particular page, so this is a H1 heading. So this is the main heading of the page. So we have a heading structure in each and every web page. So this is showing H1, that is heading level 1. So any screen reader should announce this heading as heading level 1. So the disabilities or the users with disabilities can understand these things, that it's a heading, this is the main heading of the page, and they can understand these things clearly. Apart from this, if you see, there are operable options, keyboard, no keyboard trap. So keyboard trap is something like if I navigate through the page using just the tab key. If you see, I am navigating the page using tab key or shift tab key, and the focus is moving through the links, and I can see the focus clearly, and there is no keyboard trap. So once my focus moves to this particular element, if I tab, it is moving to the next element, and if I shift tab, it is moving to the previous element. So there is no trap, like I'm not able to move or something like that is not happening. Focus order, so this is a focusable element, and if I tab, it moves to the next focusable interactive element using the tab. So that is the desired behavior. So in the order it should move, it is moving in that particular order only. So from focus order perspective, it is working fine. Every page has a title. So if we just view source this particular page and see the title, whether any screen reader tool is announcing the title at the beginning of the page, or when we start reading out the content of this particular page using the screen reader, whether that is happening appropriately or not, we need to check that. That is also a part of accessibility checking. And from development perspective, we need to take care of these elements and the implementations of these elements as well. Understandable is on focus, on input, error identification, level and error suggestion. So there are multiple form fields, mandatory fields present over a particular page. And if I do not put appropriate data in it, it throws some error. So, and also it consists of some suggestions like you need to put this kind of information over there or something. So any this, so all these kind of things are under this understandable category, where you can see that this error identification, error suggestion, error prevention options are there. So whether the screen reader tool is announcing those error messages at a appropriate time in a appropriate order or not, we need to verify those things as well. And the last, and this one is the Fourth one, that is the robust one, name, role, value, status messages. So status messages is something like, if there is a status message comes after, say for example, there is a email module where you need to put your email address and click on that email button, and a success message will come up, something like email sent successfully. Whether that message is announcing appropriately for the screen reader users or not, whether it is announcing at an appropriate time or not, that needs to be taken care by the dev team. Also from testing perspective, test team should check all these details clearly as well. That falls under the status messages as well. So these are all the categories that are very important in case of accessibility, or in case of any implementation of accessibility. Along with, when the test team test the accessibility, they have to follow these guidelines. They have to read these guidelines as well very clearly before they start testing any particular application, or before they start analyzing any particular application. These are the most important thing to look for when we are working with accessibility. In terms of freshers perspective, or who are new entry level for the accessibility testing or accessibility related development work as well, you can just navigate through these points. You can just navigate through all these options from the left panel and read out each and every detail. You will clearly understand what needs to be implemented, or what kind of changes are given as a suggestion over here to work on accessibility. I will navigate through each and every point with example and with much more clear contents as well, so that it can be easily understandable by your point. I will come up with the contents, and in my next video I will start with each and every single point one by one, so that I can provide you a clear idea about how accessibility works, and from testing side as well, and along with the development side, both, you can understand how should we move ahead with the accessibility development as well as testing. I believe this short video of web content accessibility guidelines will help you to understand the concept of accessibility. See you in my next video.